Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. It is Saturday, May 11th. So I thought today we kind of go back in and look at in this type of environment, a business environment, is it still feasible to try and start a small business from the ground up? And the answer might surprise you. So stay tuned. This could be interesting, right? Keeping it real. Alrighty, so welcome back. If you didn't already know it, my name is Eric, and we do the weekday show Monday through Friday. And on the weekend, I usually go off the rail, but I've done a couple self-development videos this week, so I thought I'd concentrate more on the business side of it. Again, all of this is available on podcast if you want to just listen to it. So we're talking today, is it feasible to actually start a business in this kind of environment? And when we say this kind of environment, it's you're thinning out the weakest right now, right? Because the disposable income is less. So now shops are trying to do more with less money, less customers, less than what they're normally used to, right? So is it easier to start a business and succeed now or when times are good? See, when times are good, just about anybody can start a business. You have plenty of customers, you got a lot of disposable income with the customers, you got a product, you got a service, you got your crew together, and a lot of times that's where you see growth. But the problem with that business model is that when things shrink, like it has the last 4 years, what happens to that business? They're not used to having to deal with this. See, the guys that have been in it for 30, 40 years, we've seen this before. And it's not going to be the last time. And we understand in business, in order to stay in business, right, you have to keep income coming in. You have to keep the bills manageable. And the goal is to not make a killer profit, but to do a little better than break even during the rough times, right? And what I always tell people, longevity, you can't look at how much money I'm going to make today or this week or this month or this year. If you're going to be in business and you want to stay in business, you have to look down the road. So what ends up happening is the businesses that stay in business for the longest period of time, during their good years, they bank the money. Because it's not if, it's when we hit leaner times that they may have to draw from that money that has been banked to get them through. Now, a lot of your younger businesses that started when the economy was great and they thrived, they were spending that money as fast as they were making it, right? Because they didn't have the history that it's going to get lean. And we need to be able to get to that lean phase in a hurry if we want to make it through that period of time. So when it comes to asking me, is it feasible and realistic to start a business right now? I would say absolutely. Because if you can kill it now, just think what you're going to do when times change again. Right now is no better time than to do it is right now. If you can figure out and think outside the box of how to become profitable in lean times, and when You talk lean years, it could be 4 to 8 years, right? But if you can make a profit in our lean years, you're going to make a killing during the good times, right? Because you're already positioning your business and yourself to think outside the box, do things differently than conventional businesses are doing it. And you're not in that mindset of, oh, look at all the customers, look at all the money, and then just start blowing it on new equipment, bigger buildings, this and that. Because what ends up happening is you grow too fast, and now you are a good sized company, right? And you've done it in, let's say, 4 to 5 years during the good times. Year 6, we hit into the lean years. And that's where your income could be easily cut in half. When your income is cut in half, can you afford that big building? The 20 plus employees? The $2 to $5 million in products you're trying to peddle? To maybe 10 to 15 to $20 million in machines, units, whether it be lawnmowers, tractors, what have you. So if you're asking me, I would say this is the perfect time. If you can figure it out and you can turn a profit, you can do it. Now, in our sector, we deal like lawn and garden, and we learned early on that you can't stick with just one. You have to find a niche that nobody else is doing. And we did that with the older farm tractors. You know, that you don't have a computer to plug into. It's the old school. You got points, condensers, and you listen, you do compression, and we started doing clutches, engine overhauls, transmissions, what have you, as a niche side. And that niche side would normally cover us through, because if you're going to get into our sector of the business, lawn and garden, you got lawnmower sales in the summer, you got rototiller sales in the summer, walk behind trimmer sales in the summer. And then during the winter months, you'll have a crossover, like your chainsaws are a crossover between the two, but you probably have more sales of chainsaws in the fall when people are thinking about getting their wood cut, right, for the coming winter. You got snowblowers. But that's pretty much your meal ticket. And your snowblowers, the volume, because for the amount of time a snowblower gets used, maybe 4 to 5 times a season, they don't wear out that hard. And if you take care of it, it'll last for years. So you need to have something else in there going on to continue bringing in income, right? And for us, it was the farm tractors. It's something we could deal with, something we could work on. And that was our bread and butter through the winter months. But even that, this past year, kind of not there. And the reason we try to go with the older farm tractors and the ones that we concentrate on are the people that have got the old tractor and it belonged to their dad or their grandfather. So it's got sentimental value. And when you add sentimental value into the price of fixing a tractor, the amount they're willing to pay will go up. If they were only willing to invest what the tractor was worth, then there wouldn't be much business, because those tractors, 15 to 2,500 on a good day. All right. So a lot of times our bills are $1,200 to $2,500, and I line up 8 to 10 of those per winter, and we do them during the fall, winter, early spring to keep us working year round. But even this past year, we had so many of them call and say, because we had them all lined up, call and have to back out because they just didn't have the extra money this year. And they're hoping next year will be a better year for them and they can get it done. So, what can you do to think outside the box to try to start a business right now? Well, it depends. Do you want a brick and mortar or do you want a mobile? Or do you want the combination of both? And maybe the combination of both might be just the fix, depending on location, right? Now, Jason and I have talked to you about, like in our areas, this is the rural area. So the amount of houses in a square mile isn't that much. So if you're spending most of your time on the road and not actually doing the service work out of a mobile unit or doing repairs, then you're losing a lot of money because you're not in the shop where you can take calls unless you hired somebody. So the idea that it would work well in the rural areas is less. Now, we do a combination of both per se, and the problem with the mobile service and mobile repairs are you don't know what you're up against until you actually get your eyes and your hands on the mower, right? Or the snowblower. And there may be parts that you have to order that may take a week or two to come in. So that means you have to come back to fix that unit or load it on your trailer, I assume enclosed, load it on your trailer and take it back to some form of a shop. Doesn't need to be very big. 24 by 24 is ideal. And get it repaired and get it back. All right? Servicing, not so bad. If you know the machines and you have a customer list, if I know I'm going to go work on a 42-inch Craftsman, and it's a common one, I can bring the blades with me. I can bring all the belts with me. And then my normal stuff, the oil filter, fuel filter, spark plugs. Check the hydrostatic transmission fluid to see if it's full. If it needs to be flushed, it should be flushed every couple of years. If you're a contractor, every couple of months instead of years because that machine is running ragged. And then all your grease points. If you can touch the blades up, you can make $10 per blade if you're in the right area. Now your investment is going to be, you're going to have to invest in at least a half-ton truck. And I would say a minimum of a 10-foot enclosed trailer. A minimum. You'll be surprised at how much room a generator, compressor, barrel for new oil, barrel for old oil, where that takes up a lot of space. And then you got your tools, right? The nice thing about it is you can use the vehicle dual purpose. If you have everything in that enclosed trailer, you can just back it up, unhook it, and it's all ready to go. But you can still use the half-ton truck as a family vehicle too, So you got a dual role there. That still isn't going to eliminate the need for some kind of a shop where you have to order parts, unless you're going back and forth, right? And can you get away with it without a shop? Yeah, but it makes it so much easier if you can bring those things back and where you can work on them after hours or whatever, getting them ready, and then drop them off as you go through. But then if you look at a brick and mortar business where you're going to be doing repairs, you're probably going to look at more, how do I put this? You can go over a longer period of time with a mortgage on it, right? Versus a trailer and equipping that. with a building, the customers, I mean, I've already said this before, like I say, I'm trying to keep it real for you guys. If you build it, they will come, like the Field of Dreams. Does not work. Does not work. I mean, we've been at it since 2006, and we still have customers in the local area that try us for the first time that said, we never knew you were even there. Since 2006. And I know people 3 towns over that I meet in the grocery stores. So you're going to have a way to think outside the box because if you don't have customers, I don't care how nice and pretty your shop is and how pretty your business is, you aren't going to make it. So you need to think ahead of time, where am I going to get my customers from? And how do I start generating income from those customers? And sometimes it would be, preferably, it would be from somebody that has listened to me and said, don't give up your day job. Start working nights and weekends at it and start building a customer base so that you have a good base of customers to keep you afloat for your first couple of years. Because you're going to be transitioning over from maybe your outbuilding or your garage to a new location. And at that new location, are you going to do pickup and drop-offs? All depends on location. I mean, and the biggest thing I can tell you is quality work. If you do quality work at a fair price, you will get customers. Word of mouth is the best for us. Is if we treat a customer very well, they're referring us to a bunch of their friends. When it comes up in conversation of, I need my lawnmower oil changed, and also one of our customers said, hey, you guys got to try Eric. He's the best. He's there for you, for the customer. So customer base is what you really need when it comes to a brick and mortar. It's also a great plus for a mobile repair, unit as well. If you're financially savvy, and I always say time equals money, right? So if you don't have a lot of money, you're going to have to spend more time learning how to do it, right? Or you can take the money that you're making and invest it wisely. And what I found for me when it came to dealing with payroll for New York State and the feds, it was easier for me, and it cost me around $1,500 a year for someone, a certified public accountant, that stays up on all the laws, knows exactly what needs to be paid in, when it needs to be paid in, and takes care of it. And I get pay stubs that are mailed to me. I get quarterlies done, year ends done, and it's Donna. I love her, and I love the way she does her work. And she's been with me for the past 10 plus years. That was one of the best investments I ever made, and I continue to leave it there because for $1,500, I don't have the time to learn and the time to frick around with trying to keep all these agencies happy, right? But if you got a program sitting in front of you and you're doing it every day, it's a lot easier. And if you're keeping up with all the latest and greatest, then so there's one thing. Hiring somebody part-time to answer phones. You can use your mobile phone. And this is what I recommend. If you're going to start a business, do not use your personal phone. If anything, get a track phone. All right, an LG, what have you. And I think it's like $117 a year. You can add data to it. You can add, what have you, for a little bit of nothing compared to what I know that a lot of people use for iPhones. I have an LG track phone for the business. That's the mobile number. And why I want you to have a separate phone than the one you have for your personal life is the last thing you need to be is bothered after hours when you're winding down. See, this is to me, I've had to train my customers over the years because we open the shop at 6 in the morning and it goes till 3 in the afternoon. And in the beginning, we had customers showing up 7, 8 o'clock at night to our houses wanting you to fix something for them. And we finally have, over the years, trained our customers. If it's past 3 o'clock, you're more than welcome to drop it off and leave a message on my phone. But after 3 o'clock, I'm not going to answer or text on my business phone. I'm going to plug it in and that's it. And then for your nights and weekends, you have your personal phone so that all your friends and family can still get a hold of you, right? And they can also get a hold of you on your business phone. But when you're handing out your business phone number, you don't want people calling your personal phone. So the investment into a phone just for the business is a must. If you're going to be doing at a retail center, landline is the way to go, and with an answering machine for after hours and when you're not there. But the key thing is you need to check your voice messaging often and respond quickly, because a lot of times if you don't respond quickly, they're already going to somebody else that hopefully can meet their needs and get work done, and then you lose out on that customer. So if you're thinking about starting a business, this is a great time. If you can make it now and you can excel by mobile or a brick and mortar, then you will do even better during the good times. So on that note, don't give up your day job, nights and weekends to get a good customer base. And if you've got a good customer base right now with enough units coming in to take that next step, if you can do it now and get in and get your system in place so that you're making money, you're going to kill it when the economy comes back and more disposable income is available. So the answer is yes. This is probably the best time to start a small business. All right, on that note, you guys have a great Saturday, and we'll see you here bright and early Sunday morning. There's a video going out today I've already done. I just got to do some editing, and it's about regrets. You hear me tell you about having no regrets, but there is a difference in what I'm trying to explain to you. We all have regrets of things that we did when we were younger, dumber, stupider, and things we said or things we did. And it gives a not a great feeling, right, when you've done something like that. So we need to learn from our regrets. They're there to, time, experience, good and bad, gets us wisdom. And hopefully when you get to be my age, you're not going to be before you think. So on that note, we'll catch you later.